I'm going to be ranking the best centers right now in NBA 2K23. My team, we have a tier list here ranking from S that goes all the way down to D tier, and we have about 20 to 25 of the best centers in my team. I will say right now, the center position is probably one of the weakest positions in the game, but I try to include like all of the best centers in the game and all of the new centers in my team as well. But let me know in the comment section down below, who are your guys' favorite centers to run right now in the game, and of course, let me know what you guys are changing about my tier list. Now, first center here, I think this one's a little bit tricky, and that's going to be Pink Diamond Andre Drummond, because I feel like depending on his jump shot and if you can green with him, because he does only have a 65 3 ball. Like if you look at his stats, right, 65 3 ball, jump shot I don't think is great, but other than that, I mean, the card's a really good inside big. Like he's got a 92 block, 92 interior defense, also having an 86 perimeter and an 88 steal. He's good at finishing around the rim with 95 driving dunk, 95 standing dunk. He's also pretty fast, 86 speed, 86 acceleration, has some really good Hall of Fame finishing badges. So I feel like if you can green with this card, then he probably isn't B tier, but if you struggle with his jump shot and you can't green consistently, then he's probably going to go in C. So I think for now, I'm going to keep him in the C tier category, because I do think Wang ZZ is probably a little bit better because he's got more of a consistent jump shot. Now defensively, obviously a guy like Drummond will be better. Wang is 7 foot with a 7'5" wingspan, also has a 93 3 ball, 90 mid-range, has some really good Hall of Fame shooting badges like catch and shoot, claymore, corner specialist, and does have a pretty good jump shot, like very easy to green, and I would say a lot better than a guy like Andre Drummond. So for me, I'm gonna throw Wang in that B tier spot and then throw Drummond in C tier, but maybe Drummond will get moved up to B tier later in the video. Brook Lopez, I feel like this card really isn't that great, to be honest. I feel like if his jump shot was a little bit faster, he could actually be a really good center, because just like Wang, he's 7 foot with a 7'5" wingspan, has some pretty good offensive stats, and very good on the defensive end, like 94 block, 96 interior defense, has a 94 3 ball, just like Wang ZZ, has Hall of Fame catch and shoot, claymore, corner specialist. But the big flaw with this Brook Lopez card is when you come to his animations, he's got his jump shot on slow timing. So that means it's going to be very hard to get his release off, and that's pretty bad in the game when most centers right now, at least like the top centers that are recently coming out, all have their jump shots on quick timing. So a little bit annoying that he doesn't even have a jump shot on normal. So I think Brook Lopez probably got to be somewhere in that C tier spot. Now Clint Capella I think is an interesting one. I think he's probably actually a little bit better than Wang ZZ. Is he going in that A tier category? I'm not exactly sure. I mean, after the Evo, he is actually a very good diamond center. He's 6'10" with a 7'3" wingspan, and he's very good all around. Like he's got an 88 3 ball, 87 mid range, very good interior defender, having a 95 block, 90 interior defense, also great at finishing around the basket, having a 90 driving dunk, 95 standing dunk, Hall of Fame catch and shoot, claymore, and corner specialist, and defensively does have Hall of Fame anchor and jump shot. I do believe is actually decently easy to green. I'm not going to sit here and say it's an amazing jump shot, but you can definitely green pretty consistently. I think for now, I'm gonna keep Clint Capella in that B tier spot, but maybe gets moved up to A tier later in the video. Now D-Rob, 1000% going to be an S tier center. If you guys don't know, S tier is going to be my top 5 centers, and D-Rob 1000% going to be in that top 5. He probably is like the second best or the third best center in the game all around. I do think D-Rob's still one of the best centers in my team. Now Taco Fall is another one of those interesting ones, because obviously yes, he can't shoot the 3 ball, but he's like so glitchy on the court that I think honestly I might throw him in the B tier category. But let me know where you guys would rank Taco, because I feel like he's probably the more confusing one and the more tricky card to rank, because he's 7'6" at the center position. He has an 8'2" wingspan. There's only a couple cards in the game that can kind of keep up with a guy like Taco, and that's pretty much Yao Ming and maybe like some taller centers like Kareem, right? Like most centers can't really guard a guy like Taco, and he's a very good defender as well, having a 97 block and a 90 interior defense. Obviously, the biggest flaw with this card is not even the 33 ball. That's fine because he can shoot mid ranges, and his Taco Fall, you don't really expect him to shoot this early on in the year, but it's the 40 speed or 39 speed, 39 acceleration that I feel like is just really a letdown. I mean, it does make sense. Like, I don't think Taco should be that fast at this time of the year, especially on an Amethyst version, but it's just kind of hard to rank a card that's got 40 speed, but is just so elite at pretty much everything else, and is just super glitchy on the court. So I think for now, I'm going to keep him in B tier, but let me know where you guys would put Taco Fall. Pau Gasol, I think, is most likely going to be A, possibly even S tier, because in my opinion, I think at the center position, I do actually like Marc Gasol over Pau Gasol. Now you guys can let me know in the comment section down below who you guys feel is the better center between the Gasol brothers. I think Pau Gasol might be the better card because he can play power forward a lot better than Marc Gasol, but I do think at the center position, I think I'd honestly rather Marc Gasol, but I think Pau might get moved up to S tier later in the video. But for now, I'm gonna go Marc in S and then Pau Gasol in A. Another A tier center is going to be Hakeem Olajuwon, even though he's not like the greatest center in the game anymore, because when he first came out, he was obviously the best center in the game for a little bit, but I do think he's still really good. He's 7 foot with a 7'3" wingspan. He's going to be glitched, so he does have a 93 ball, 90 mid-range, and Hall of Fame catch and shoot and corner specialist. He's a very good defender. He's got some pretty good speed, 85 speed, 85 acceleration. Like, he looks very well rounded. My only flaw with this card is probably going to be his jump shot. It's not that easy to green, and it's a little bit slow. And once again, nowadays we're getting, you know, every center's jump shot is most likely on quick timing and a really good release. So I feel like his release is a little bit of a letdown, and that's why I'm really looking forward to a Gallic Sopel Hakeem Olajuwon, because I feel like if he gets that Gallic Sopel, he could be maybe the second best center in the game, obviously behind Yao Ming. But Joel Embiid, I think for me, probably going to be in C tier. I don't think he's really that great of a center. I think he's kind of on the same level as a Brook Lopez. Now, Kevin Garnett, I just included KG on this list because, once again, there's not too many centers in the game, and I think pretty much out of all the power forwards, like all the primary power forwards, he probably is the best center to run. Like, you can't really run Yi at the 5. I mean, you can, but I think he's better than Chet, Yi, Dirk at the center position. So I thought I would kind of throw him at the I thought I would kind of include him on this center list, because, once again, if you want to run him at power forward, I do think that's his better position. But if you're kind of running a little bit of a small ball and you have KG and you want to put him at the 5, I do think he is a top 5 center in the game, because he's one of the best cards in my team. Obviously going to have some very good defense, really good jump shot, obviously being the LaMelo Ball base on quick timing, and has some very good dribble stakes. Like, if you want to run a little bit of a 5-out offense and have him honestly be your ball handler, like if you're matching up against some of these slower centers and you got KG on the court, like Marc Gasol is not staying in front of Kevin Garnett at the center position, and he can definitely, like, KG can definitely guard Marc Gasol, you know, in the post. So KG, if you have KG at your center position and you match up against a Marc Gasol, you're definitely gonna have the advantage, you know, on the offensive end and defensively as well. So for me, I think KG gonna be a top 5 center. Now, Kristaps Porzingis is an interesting one, because I feel like him and Wang are kind of on the same level, but I do think he's a little bit better than Wang. So I'm gonna throw him in the A tier category. I do think him and Hakeem Olajuwon are very, very similar. Now, you could argue maybe Wang deserves to be in the A tier spot, but I'm not really the biggest fan of Wang's EC. Like, I would honestly take Channing Frye over him as well. I think Channing Frye and Kristaps are pretty much the same card. They're very similar at the center position, so I think they're both probably going to be an A. Another A tier center is going to be JaVale McGee. Very, very good inside big. He kind of just like what Drummond should have been, or kind of what Drummond can be, because he's like, you know, obviously a very good inside big. He's 7 foot with a 7'6" wingspan. JaVale does have a really good player model in game, and Drummond and JaVale are very similar in pretty much everything besides the 3-ball rating and the jump shot. Like, JaVale's got a way better release than Drummond and does have a higher 3-ball, but they're about the same, you know, for the defense, you know, the finishing around the basket and their athleticism as well. Very similar cards, but JaVale McGee does have a higher 3-ball and a way better jump shot. Now, Yao Ming, obviously going to be in the S tier category. I think that's not really even a question at this point. He's the best card in my team, easily going to be the best center, and he's honestly like head and shoulders above any other center and pretty much any other card in my team right now. Like, D-Rob is probably my number 2, and he's not even close to Yao Ming, so there's definitely a huge gap. Yao Ming pretty much deserves his own tier, but he'll be in the top of S tier, obviously the best center in my team. Miles Turner, I think, is another pretty solid center. I would say he's, you know, I'm gonna drop Channing Frye to B tier. I do think the guy's an A tier, just a little bit better than Frye, but I do think Channing Frye a really underrated center. And then, guys, I think to round off my top 5 centers in the game, I think I'm gonna go Olowokandi in the top 5. I think him and D-Rob are very close, because Olowokandi has a great jump shot. He's pretty much got the same release as Joe Smith, and Joe Smith has a very, very good release, and it's going to be on quick timing. He's a very good defender, has a really good player model. I do think he's probably going to be a top 5 center. Now, Ralph Sampson, I feel like is going to be in B tier. He just feels like a better Taco Fall, because he is a bit shorter than Taco. I think he's 7'4", but he's going to have like a little bit more speed, and I believe a higher 3-ball as well. Yeah, he's 7'4" with a 7'8" wingspan, so obviously kind of has that tall presence like a guy like Taco, but he's got more speed, a higher 3-ball. He can shoot the ball. I would say Taco's a better defender though, but overall, I think Ralph Sampson is just going to be a decent amount better than a guy like Taco in the B tier category. Shaq, for me, I know this might seem a little bit crazy. I'm gonna throw B tier just because, honestly, like, yes, he's better than a guy like Taco in my opinion, but if you can't shoot the 3-ball, I just really don't think you're that elite of a center, unless you're a guy like Taco who's 7'6" with an 8'2" wingspan. And that's why I think Shaq's probably, you know, maybe like middle B tier, because in my opinion, I need a center that can shoot, at least in my play style and the way that I play my team. You guys, like, if you want to run an inside big and you like using inside bigs, obviously Shaq is going to be the best center for that. But in my opinion, and the way I run my team, I just want my centers to be able to shoot the ball really well. So I do think Shaq probably going to be in B tier, but he can be very elite and maybe in the A or S tier category. Kareem, I still feel like is probably in the A tier spot. Is Cream a top 5 center of the game? I would say he barely misses out. Same thing with a guy like Tim Duncan. I think he's probably going to be in the A tier category. Still very good defensive centers, but definitely lack their jump shots. Between Cream and Tim, have very slow releases and do definitely need an updated card or just an update on Tim Duncan to get his release to quick timing. And then Will Chamberlain and Zubac, I do think both are going to be in D tier. Just kind of include them on this list because once again, like I said earlier, just really not that many center cards in my team. So just want to include them, you know, just to show you guys pretty much all the centers in the game. So guys, let me know in the comment section down below, what do you guys think about my center tier list? Also, if you don't want to count KG as a center, I would probably drop him down to A tier and then put Pau Gasol in the S tier category. But let me know what you guys think about my tier list, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.